He gotta play this tough role. You know what I mean?
I heard you say that. You said you're playing tough up there.
Yeah. That's all he doing. He just playing tough.
Preparing. I think the rematch with Roach versus Gervonta can actually be more exciting than the first one. In my opinion, I've said this many times.
Was quoted saying that it doesn't matter how much money a man has, he can still be jealous. Like, why Floyd would be jealous of GervontaDavis?
Tensions flared at the press conference when Gervonta "Tank" Davis erupted over Floyd Mayweather's apparent endorsement of Lamont Roach. Davis accused Mayweather of pulling the same old stunts, even during their years together under the same promotional umbrella. His frustration was raw. He felt Mayweather had a history of publicly backing others while subtly undercutting him. For Davis, this wasn't a new betrayal. It was the continuation of a long-standing rift between mentor and protege.
Floyd outdoing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro.
The friction isn't new. In one infamous instance, Mayweather scheduled an exhibition bout on the same day as Davis's press conference, a move widely seen as an attempt to steal the spotlight. Davis didn't mince words, calling it a jealous act and accusing Mayweather of always prioritizing his own relevance over supporting others. That clash highlighted a deeper truth. Davis felt overshadowed even at career-defining moments, while Mayweather's actions seemed to confirm their lingering rivalry.
Floyd, I want to switch gears real quick, man. Gervonta said, I'm not signed to a single soul. So it's Tank now, a free agent, of course, he's still signed with Mayweather Promotions.
Well, this is the Mayweather-Tank press conference. So I'm here to talk about Dubai. I'm here to talk about entertaining the people, having fun. And I'm not here to talk disrespectful or bad about any fighting. You know, they say America is the land of the free. You know, so we live, we love, and we keep striving each and every day. That's what life is about.
Tensions deepened further when Floyd was seen coaching Frank Martin, a fighter slated to face Davis. Reports circulated that Mayweather had been leaking insights from Davis's training sessions to aid Martin. Martin, for his part, credited Floyd with invaluable mentorship, saying it boosted his confidence and technical sharpness. For Davis, it felt like sabotage. For Mayweather, it was just business. The episode painted Floyd as selectively supportive, backing fighters only when it suited his own interests.
I remember you talking about doing the pad work with Floyd, and he said you got the speed and the power to be a world champ. What did that do for your confidence? You can hear that from anybody, but Floyd is Floyd.
It was just motivation, you know, because at that time, too, man, I ain't had that IQ that I got now. So at that point, I was just really going off natural athleticism. So for him to tell me at that time, getting deeper in my bag, trying to understand the game.
It's not like basketball where you got to depend on people. It's not like football. Like, the work that you put in reflects directly with your results. People don't even know the amount of hours that y'all put into this.
We ain't got no backup. We got a bad day, whatever. We ain't got nobody to come through for us. It's all on you.
Davis has openly questioned Mayweather's reluctance to celebrate others' success, interpreting it as ego-driven. He believes that same ego was behind Floyd's unwillingness to endorse a rematch between Davis and Roach. In Davis's eyes, Mayweather was more focused on preserving his own legacy than advancing Davis's. That dynamic, he argues, stunted opportunities and ultimately revealed a misalignment in their professional goals.
You know, so I don't want Tank to necessarily leave Mayweather. I think he's in this position because of everything that Mayweather and Leonard LB have done for him. So I do want him to do what he is saying. Take control of your career. Say that you want Shakur and actually fight Shakur. Say that you want Devin and actually fight Devin. You know, fight these guys. Don't keep making new names. Like, you gave Barrios a chance. You gave Isaac a chance. Like, you know, Gamboa, like, those aren't the fights that we want.
During sparring sessions with Devin Haney, Davis claims Mayweather would repeatedly stop the action whenever Tank began to dominate. These interruptions, Davis said, consistently disrupted his rhythm and stunted his growth. To him, it was another sign that Mayweather was giving preferential treatment to other fighters, hindering his development rather than helping it. The sense of favoritism only added to his mounting frustration.
Floyd, I was doing him. He always been like that. You know what I mean? So I gotta focus on what I'm focused on. He already did what he had to do, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Me, if I did what I like what he did in the sport, I ain't gonna lie, I'd be the same way. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't follow him for like stand to himself and things like that. You know what I mean? But it's also a part of me type thing, like come back and help too. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's much love to the whole Mayweather promotion. You know what I mean? Ain't no bad blood type shit. And a lot of people think like when I be tweeting on Instagram, I be mad. I just be talking.
Sources close to the situation confirmed that the Davis-Mayweather relationship had long been strained. Disagreements over opponent selection, training philosophies, and career strategy created friction. Mayweather reportedly challenged Davis's decisions, even when money and legacy were at stake. But now, as Davis sharpens his focus for the Roach rematch, those around him are taking notice. Even Mayweather, observers say, appears surprised by Davis's newfound discipline and intensity. The stakes are sky high. One more misstep, and Davis's career narrative could take a serious hit.
So the Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach rematch is being targeted for June 21st in Las Vegas. Now, it's good that they're running it back without wasting any time because Roach absolutely deserves a rematch. I mean, I thought he outboxed Tank the last time around. He came up a division as a gigantic 10-1 underdog, and he was the one on the front foot, landing his jab, the body shots, the combinations, throwing a lot more volume. I had it 7-5 Roach, and the no knockdown in round 9 was the reason it was a draw. If that knockdown was scored, that would have been a decision for Roach. But with all that being said, I do like Tank a lot more in the rematch. I thought he fought way too much on the back foot in the first fight, especially the first few rounds. He would land 1 or 2 punches per round. But as he started becoming the aggressor in the later rounds, he kept landing a lot more left hands and body shots. So Tank just needs to make this a dogfight, get into more exchanges, and that's where he'll land a lot more punches on Roach. When he's sitting on the back foot waiting for a counter, that's where Roach is comfortable and winning most of the rounds. So if Tank can fight the same way he did against Ryan Garcia, rounds 3 to 7, against Mario Barrios in the later rounds, or Frank Martin rounds 4 to 8, if he's the one on the front foot, then I do think he'll stop Roach in the rematch.
Anticipation for the Davis vs. Roach rematch has reached fever pitch. Their first encounter left many questions unanswered. Controversial stoppages, disputed judging, and tactical ambiguity have fueled demand for a clear resolution. Las Vegas is the likely host, bringing global attention to what could become a defining bout for both fighters. For Davis, it's a chance at redemption. For Roach, it's a shot at validation as a true world-class contender.
Lamont Roach throwing his hands fast as hell. He's in the gym preparing. I think the rematch with Roach versus Gervonta can actually be more exciting than the first one. In my opinion, I've said this many times, the actual fight itself wasn't that crazy. The crazy thing is what you've never seen before, the knee. But as far as a boxing match, it was, if you look at the copy box, they didn't throw a lot of punches. It wasn't like, it wasn't really a great fight. But as far as the fight itself, the second one can't, because I think Tank is coming for blood. He's not going to pull his punches at all. I don't think he really did the first time, but I'm not sure how well he prepared or how mentally focused he was. I think you're going to get the very best Tank in a rematch, and you may just get an even better Lamont Roach, since Lamont Roach don't have to speculate if he's good enough. He fought Tank. He has more confidence now than he did before, and he felt that he was robbed. So he's going to be on one. I think the rematch is going to be far more exciting.
Davis's split from Mayweather Promotions was anything but quiet. Public disagreements over his career direction eventually boiled over. While Mayweather envisioned a carefully managed ascent, Davis pushed for control. The fallout revealed a classic struggle between loyalty and independence. In choosing autonomy, Davis accepted both the freedom and the risk. The breakup illustrated just how fragile the line can be between mentorship and management in elite boxing.
Gervonta said, "I'm not signed to a single soul." So is Tank now a free agent, or is he still signed with Mayweather Promotions?
Well, this is the Mayweather-Deji press conference. So I'm here to talk about Dubai. I'm here to talk about
entertaining the people, having fun. And I'm not here to talk disrespectful or bad about any fighter. You know, they say America is the land of the free. You know, so we live, we love, and we keep striving each and every day. That's what life is about.
Even within Mayweather's circle, opinions are shifting. Floyd's uncle, Jeff Mayweather, commented on the fallout of the Davis-Roach bout. While he didn't believe the result was a robbery, he admitted Roach's performance chipped away at Davis's aura of invincibility. Fighters now see Davis as beatable, a psychological shift that could reshape the lightweight division. Jeff's remarks suggest that even Davis's staunchest supporters are reconsidering his dominance.
Jeff Mayweather here at the Mayweather Boxing Club. How are you doing, sir?
Okay.
You don't look okay.
No, well, I am.
All right, well, we got this potential rematch everybody wants to see, Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. First of all, are you surprised that everybody's wanting to see a rematch between these two? Because no one expected it to be a close fight in the first place.
That much is true. And me, myself, I mean, I'm a big Tank fan. And I was shocked. I was shocked at the outcome of the fight.
Who did you have winning the fight?
I had Roach winning the fight.
Do you consider it a robbery, or do you lean Roach and are cool with the draw?
I wouldn't say it was a robbery. I mean, the fight was close. But if I was a judge, I would have gave Roach the fight.
All right. Talking about this rematch, what do you? I mean, so the one thing Tank always had for him, everyone, he had that kind of almost like Mike Tyson-esque, right? The air of invincibility, the knockout power. People were scared of him, that kind of thing. Do you think what Roach did to him, moving up in weight, and not being a big puncher himself, but able to withstand Tank, that kind of his air of invincibility has maybe been slightly diminished?
I won't say it's been diminished, but I do think that more people, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore.
And do you think that's almost something that could play in Tank's hand, right? Maybe we had an off day, everybody has an off day, and take him.
Yeah, everybody can have an off night, but I think the one thing that is the most important thing that nobody's talking about is the fact that they did fight each other when they were young, growing up, when they were kids.
Roach's camp has not stayed quiet. They've criticized referee Steve Willis for what they view as pivotal oversights, moments where Roach's momentum wasn't rewarded and the fight narrative shifted unfairly. According to them, poor officiating, not just in-ring execution, tilted the outcome. Their protest has added urgency to the rematch and cast a shadow over the legitimacy of the original decision.
Obviously the part with the grease in the eye, that took on a life of its own, you know what I'm saying? That was a headline in the fight. One is, what did you think when he said that initially, just like the grease in the eye? But two is like, when you was in the fight, was there any point that you saw that? Like, did you see like him kind of messing with his eye, or did you have any indication that that was something that was bothering him?
No, see, and that's the thing. If you look at the whole fight, he was never bothering his eyes before
you jabbed him.
Before I jabbed him. Even that right hand that, like, that kind of landed, he kind of rolled with it. But after that, you could see him wipe his eye. And then, right after I hit him with the jab, you could see him wipe his other eye. So it's like, it was corresponding to which hand that I punched him with and exactly which eye. So it's like crazy for him to say, it's grease in my eye. And I think even when he say that, you could see me, because I'm right beside him, you could see me like, nigga, what you talking about? So,
right.
But you say you don't think he willing though.
Whatever. See, but who cares? Like, sweat gonna get in your eye, blood gonna get in your eye.
Yeah, it don't matter.
Spit fuck around and get in your eye. You know what I'm saying? But it's not like you can be like, all right, time out, ref. Hold on, ref. Can't do that.
Right. Would you be cool with Steve Willis doing the next fight?
Hell no.
He can't do the next fight.
No, he can't do the next fight.
Right.
No.
Pops, it's a no?
Hell no.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah. You know how many put Coach Ben on him, man. He lucky he ain't running Coach Ben after that fight.
But look how many times he fucked the fight up though. The knee, him going to the corner to get assistance, like, Who knows? Not saying that they did any cheating shit or nothing like that. But like, he wiped his face with a towel. You can't do that.
Right.
You can't do none of that.
Right.
That's a disqualification. You turned your back on the ref after you took a knee. Usually the ref will be like, all right, he don't want to fight no more. Fight's off.
Shakur Stevenson, one of the lightweight division's top technicians, weighed in with praise for Roach. Having sparred with him extensively, Stevenson highlighted Roach's defensive sharpness and ring IQ. He predicted that Roach's ability to neutralize offense through speed and positioning could frustrate Davis. In Stevenson's view, this isn't a mismatch. It's a tactical chess match where Roach's adaptability might eclipse Tank's raw power.
I mean, both saying like, you know, that's something that y'all would do. You sparred Lamont before, right?
For sure, yeah. Actually, he was the one who got me ready for Oscar Valdez.
Oh, Lamont Roach did?
Lamont Roach was the guy who really got me ready for that fight.
What was the work like?
It was good work. It was good work. You know, honestly, that was one of the reasons why I bet tonight. Because I knew what I was in the ring with. Like, I knew that he wasn't no pushover, he wasn't no slouch. And when I seen that, I said, okay, when he fight Tank, I know that it's going to be the fight that I assumed it to be honest.
Hold on, because you was saying that, I ain't gonna lie, you was on Twitter been saying, like, you feel like, I don't know if you didn't say Lamont was gonna win, but you just kept making it like, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what you were saying, but you kept alluding to Lamont was gonna do something. So, like, you saying you seen this, the way the fight played out based on how your sparring session went?
I'm not gonna say how the sparring session went just because of the fact that I'm a different fighter than what Tank is.
Yeah.
And it's like sparring and fighting two different things. But I knew what I was up against when I was sparring him. Like, I knew the skill level. And I also, like, I watch boxing, so I'll go back and watch. And these guys go back and watch, and they looking like, okay, well, he was in front of this guy, so it was this, but styles make fights. And I know that Tank is shorter. He's fast, but Lamont got good defense. And I just knew exactly how that fight was gonna go. I told everybody that Lamont was gonna be the one pushing forward. Tank was gonna be the boxer, and it literally looked exactly how I thought it was gonna look.
How did you see the actual fight? Like, let's break it down, because you was ringside. You sat, I saw you on Twitter. They showed the videos of you ringside. What did you see in the fight?
Shit, I kind of seen Lamont winning. I really felt like he was in control of the fight.
Gary Russell Jr., a former world champion, took a more restrained stance. He acknowledged that Roach held his own, but felt he didn't seize enough rounds convincingly to sway the judges. For Russell, a true win requires commanding every moment, and Roach fell just short. His critique suggests the rematch needs to be definitive. No more close calls or split opinions.
Who's doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table, and he says that Lamont Roach is, we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all of that. You know, he says what most people say, hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to, that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing. And the fight is going to be similar, but hey, the fight at the same time is going to be very different. Now, I just happen to have a very good friend named Phoenix the Assassin who breaks down fights for me. He's a trainer. Got a world-class eye for fights. And what he speculated should be the difference between the first fight and the second fight for Gervonta is that Gervonta is going to need to spend a lot more time fighting on the outside and scoring points for a longer period of time on the outside, and then making sure that, and basically forcing Lamont Roach to try to initiate something with slower hands, score his points, and get out. And he said the reason that he believes that Lamont Roach would be able to do that
Heading into the rematch, Davis has adopted a no-nonsense approach. His training regimen is relentless. Every punch, drill, and conditioning session calculated to eliminate prior weaknesses. Davis knows a narrow win won't cut it this time. He's preparing for a statement performance, one that leaves no doubt, reclaims his standing, and silences any talk of vulnerability.
Everybody really think Tank go take the L. I've been seeing it. They said it's over. They think that this time Lamont go in more confident, knowing that basically he can, really take it to Tank. Yeah, I want him to go in there confident. He's very skilled. Go in there confident. Because you gonna go up against a different Tank, like I told y'all in previous videos. He gonna go in there confident, thinking he could walk Tank down. Don't forget, with Tank, if he get you on that button, them lights going off, I don't care who you is. Remember how it ended up with Frank Martin? So yeah, don't go in there thinking that you going against like somebody that, like Ryan Garcia, somebody that's gonna fold. You going against Gervonta Tank Davis. And I think that confidence is what's gonna get Lamont dropped. Because one thing I will say, with Tank, that wasn't your best fight against Lamont, bro. I feel like you was in your head too much, you was overconfident, and you was really just, your mind was in y'all story, the lore and everything with y'all history. You ain't going there like, I'm fighting a stranger. You going there like, oh, this Lamont, this from the same camp, we from the same area. But now I think that whole situation woke him up, because you got to think, Tank not used to losing. He not used to people being against him. He not used to being the one that like got to step back from the situation. That's why I think he being hushed right now, because when he come this time, it ain't no talking. And that's why I think it's scary, because we never see Tank in that mode where he don't say a word. I think this gonna be a different Tank. And what's crazy is Tank used to be like that in the beginning, like when he was with Floyd. Like, I'm talking about Tank with the fade, with the waves, bro. He ain't used to be on that showboat and stuff until he got, like, a little bit more in the boxing, thing. Of course, once you with Floyd, you gonna start being flashy and doing backflips off the ring.